back to Unladylike Opinions. This is Life After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 51, Not One to Miss With. Okay, we're going to go by couple as usual. So the first couple is Sean and Sarah. So Sean and Sarah in the car, holding hands or whatever. And Sean gets out of the car and busts his butt on the ice because, they stay in Ohio and it's snow everywhere. And they're at the tanning place, and so Sarah can get her spray tan, but Sean is just happy that she wants to spend the rest of the day with him. And I'm like, nah, Sean, she don't really want to spend the rest of the day with you. She just want to make sure you're gonna pay for it, in my opinion. And so the lady tells Sarah to strip down and to where she wants to get tan and expose all the places she want to get tan. And while Sarah is getting undressed, you see Sean is just looking, and he says, like, in his confessional, that this isn't the way he wanted to see her body, but he is not disappointed. So Sarah says she feels very comfortable around Sean, and she is more open to him seeing her mom and her daughter. The lady asks Sarah to get on her tippy toes and bend over. And when I tell you, Sarah bent all the way over and touched her toes, baby. And I holler, and the lady was like, I didn't mean to go bend over that far, but Sean loved it, and he hollered out score as she bent over. Creep. Then they convinced Sean to get a spray tan, and Sarah told him to get naked, and he was so white. She's never seen nobody that white. So the lady came back with a waiver, and she asked Sean for his date of birth. He said 1/24/74. Sarah said, run that again? He tried to play it out and said, babe, you know my birthday is January 24th. And she said, but what's the year though? And he said 74. And she was like, so you are not 36? So they go back and forth about his age, and he swear he don't remember telling her that he was 36. Meanwhile, the spotlight looking like, what the hell did I just get myself into? And he steady acting like he don't remember telling her that, and she was like, what else haven't you told me or whatever? And she was like, you all on me about holding secrets, and you was lying the whole time. And he tells her there is nothing more, but she's giving him a free ride to lay everything on out and tell the truth right now. And he's still lying. And because Sean had 6 kids that he ain't telling he had, and he was also talking to Destiny at the same time he was talking to Sarah, and he was engaged to Destiny until Destiny ran off. And so they ride in the car, and Sean asked her how things was at her mom. And she says, my mom is basically momming me. And she was like, I understand, because I put her through a lot, and she's used to the old me. And she said, I tell you all the time, you glad you never met the old me. And so she was like, she had a alcoholic father that was abusive alcoholic father, and her mom decided to leave him. And she said she was curious to why her dad always chose alcohol and drugs over her, but instead of her staying away from alcohol and drugs, she became addicted to it. She said she was worried that her daughter wouldn't warm up to her when Sean asked her if things were with her daughter. And she said he said he could be a good stepdaddy to her daughter. Well, how about you be a daddy to your 6 kids first? Talking about being a damn stepdaddy. Boy, bad. So he says he understands the role as a parent, the role a parent plays, and he's already ready to meet her daughter. She said in the next couple of days, it will be time for him to meet her mom and her daughter. And she tried to give him the rundown, and said she thinks she knows him enough right now to take the next step. And she was like, but my mom is very blunt. She's never liked anybody I dated, probably because everybody I dated I was using with. And she was like, Sean said he is more nervous this time around because he told Sarah more lies than he told Destiny. And he out there screaming he love her. When he drop her off, they kissing and hugging, and he out there screaming he love her, and he just watching her walk away. And I'm like, you creep. So that was the end of Sarah and Sean. So Marcelino and Brittany. So they all go out to eat after they done touched down and cause hell over there at Robert House. And Kanan says how people expected them three, meaning Kanan, Brittany, and Kanan's boyfriend, a name I can't remember, to relapse, but really it was the guy that said he worked for the government. I can't believe y'all believe he worked for the government. He probably never did. But Brittany says she's emotionally drained and she hates, when that side of her comes out. Marcelino said that there was a lot of red flags right in the beginning that should have been like, let's not deal with this dude. And he asked Kanan why she put his name on the account and not hers, and she was like, she didn't do that, he did that. He told her she couldn't be on it because of her criminal background, and she said she met with an attorney, and the attorney told her to put contracts on everything, but she didn't want to say anything to Robert about it because she didn't want him to think she didn't trust him, because at the time she did trust him. And Marcelino got this look on his face like, I can't stand him. And Marcelino says in his confession that Kanan can say whatever she wants. At the end of the day, the money is still long gone, and he the one has to pay the price. So Brittany feels like Robert been playing them from the beginning, and she feels stupid for not catching on to it. So Kanan and Brittany go to the bathroom, and you can hear them outside the bathroom and saying like, if we was in prison, we wouldn't have never let anyone play us like this. And Kanan says, I feel like I want to go over there. And Brittany was like, I'm down for whatever. So Brittany said, what I'm going to be scared for, that's my money and the house we work for. And she want to knock him out and tell him she ain't no punk. Marcelino said he never seen this side of Brittany before. And pissed off people with alcohol never goes well. Now, you was talking all that noise earlier about, wanting some action, and now you scared. So Marcelino tells her she's not going over there by herself, and she's going off saying, I handled myself in prison for 7 years. I would never let anyone punk me like this. So Brittany and Kanan done got them some liquid courage, and they over there at the house trying to break in, and Kanan talking all this big noise this time, now that she's full of that juice. And I'm like, you was quiet when they came over there, want to be all, copacetic when they came over the first time. Now you got some of that little liquor in your system. You loose as a goose. And so Brittany over there taking screens off the door, trying to get in, while Marcelino telling her to chill out. And I'm like, no, this the type of smoke you wanted. And Brittany said their non-profit paid for all this stuff, and she proceeds to go through the door. Robert shuts them out and calls the police, but Kanan crawled through the window and tries to talk to Robert. And the police rolls up and tells them this was a civil matter and they cannot just come over here and just go in. And they have to go to Smalls Claim Court, and they let them go. But we all know if that was my kind of folks, we would be dead or under the jail. Wouldn't be no letting us go. Girl, please. Anyway, on to next. That was the end of Marcelino and Thug Girl Brittany. So Amber and Puppy. I gotta take a drink. Amber arrives at home, and her boyfriend Sammy is like grilling her about where she was, why she didn't tell him who she was going to meet. Can you say controlling? So she tells us that she has known him for 16 years and they have reconnected, and she said they had issues in the past with him being controlling. Go figure. But he wants to do better. She tells him about what her and Puppy talked about and asks how would he feel about going on a double date. He asked if there was a ulterior motive behind this, and she was like, that's my friend, and I want both of you to give each other a chance. And she wants everyone to be cool and get along, but he said he smells BS, and he wants to make sure she is not in no BS with Puppy. She says Salmon doesn't always have self-control, but everyone should get along. Puppy's at her place, her and Eric's place, getting dressed, putting her eyeliner on, and Eric walks in and he looking at her and was like, "You only look this good when we go out." Puppy says she is not looking forward to meeting Sammy because she thinks he takes advantage of Amber, and she says Eric keeps her on track, something that Amber couldn't do. And I'm like, girl. So they arrived at the restaurant and introduced themselves to each other, and Amber tells Eric that she was sorry for, when how they met, because they met when she came over there knocking on the door, and she said she was knocking like the police. And he said, yeah, because Puppy ran to the back because she thought it was the police. So Sammy asked Eric, has he ever been to the chain gang? And he said, yeah, for a long time. He said he did a good little sentence. And Puppy is like, and she says in her confession that, he did like 9 years for drug trafficking or whatever. And she said, she doesn't want Amber. She didn't want him to talk about that because she doesn't want Amber to be judgmental like she always is. But right now, Amber can't judge nobody. So Eric says that Amber and Puppy's relationship makes him sick to his stomach. He didn't say that to them. He said that in his little confessional. And he thinks that the guy that Amber has now is just a rebound and a cover-up. And you hear Amber giving Puppy the hookah, and she's saying, here you go, baby. And I'm like, okay, Eric may have a point. So Puppy asks Sammy if he's been good to Amber, and Sammy says that they have bad communication. And Puppy says that all her and Eric do is, how do I say this? F and fight, read between lines. And so Puppy and Amber, go smoke them a cigarette, and they talking, and they said it was awkward, and she said it seems like Sammy is waiting to give someone a hard time. Then you see Sammy looking around like, where she go, and I'm like, okay, Clingy. So a couple, when Amber come and Puppy come back, the waitress tells Amber that a couple sent her a drink, and Sammy is super pissed, and he said it's very disrespectful, and that Amber doesn't care, and she all up on him, trying to get him to calm down, and he goes off and tells her to shut the F up. And he said he is a humble country boy, and he looks like a fool, and he walks off. She goes outside looking for him, and he already drove off. So Amber calls Sammy and asks, like, why you leave me here? And he said it was better for him to leave than to show some negativity. And it reminds him of their past. She says, I thought we looked past it. She says, his pride was the issue in the past, and she is over it. So Puppy says she doesn't like his reaction, and he is jealous and angry, and ain't no telling what else, he's angry about. So Sammy said she looked at him like he had no right to be angry, and she was like, you didn't have to leave me here, and now I gotta go find me a ride home. And that was the end of Puppy and Amber. Stan and Lisa. Stan over there walking around in his drawer just showing all his goods. And Lisa said she is pissed at Stan about lying to the pastor about how they met. She talking about how he didn't take accountability for nothing. He comes downstairs and she is making this little prison meal, child. And I ain't gonna tell you, I don't even remember the ingredients she put in this stuff. Jail is a place I ain't never been, ain't trying to go. It ain't nothing worth me trying to get there. And if I do get there, I'm gonna be a rat. I'm just playing. It depends on what it is. I'm just playing. But I ain't going down for something I didn't do. No, ma'am. That's just a side note. So, she asked him how he felt about the meeting with the pastor, and she goes off on how tired of sugarcoating stuff she is. And here she go bringing up, they met on a sex website. They met on that, and how he acting like he don't remember. And I'm trying to understand, like, what does it matter? You agreed to all of this. Like, what is the end game here, Lisa? So she wants him to be honest that he paid her for sex, and she wants the cameras to move because she is pissed. So Stan says she is about one step from getting kicked the hell out of here. Stan is fed up with Lisa by now. So Stan said if making love to someone and giving them money doesn't mean you are paying them for sex. And Lisa said that Stan told her she had to have sex with him for 2 days if he was going to pay the taxes on her car. She said even if their relationship started as a paid arrangement, it shouldn't. She doesn't want to feel like someone is paying her for sex. So she calls her friend, what was the friend name? I don't remember. But she calls her friend and tells her to meet her at Stan's house, and then she tells her she loved her, and I don't know what's up with that or whatever. Stan said he done gave Lisa $15,000 in the last month. Stan, you a better man than I ever be. Well, I never be one, but you know. So Lisa comes back in and says she showed the producers the message of him asking her, for sex. And he asked, can he see them? And she called him a bitch and ran up on him. And she said, this is what I'm talking about. You act like you don't remember stuff. And she said, you got the same text message that I got. So Stan was like, you're right and I'm wrong. He then started eating the prison meal and was like, what did you put in this? And he was like, he apologizes to Lisa. And Lisa said in her confessional, when Renata comes tomorrow, they're going to have some fun. I don't know what kind of fun Lisa talking about. And so she goes up the stairs cursing, and Stan said he gonna limit what he texts her. And that was the end of them. So Deontay and Nicole and Tia. Deontay goes over to his mama's house. And she automatically puts him to work. If that ain't my mama, I don't know what else is. I want to put that game on. She asks him about his love life, and he tells her about the date he went on, and he was like, you probably would have liked her. And she asks him, what about Nicole, or whatever her name is, and he said, you know her name. And he said, she called me, and I answered. And Mama was like, why? And he said he just wanted to see, what was up with Nicole, and, Nicole wants him to be in a 3-way relationship. And Mama said, what? Say that again. And she asks what he say, because she can't wait to hear what he responded with. And so he said he told her he would think about it. And Mama said, did I drop you on your head as a baby? And the brother over there smirking, looking like, this fool, boy. And so he said it was nice to hear from her. And Mama said, yeah, for her to propose a 3-way, relationship to you, this is a bunch of foolishness. He said his mama got this thing when she move her head when she mad. He totally understand, because he said his mama got this thing when she move her head when she mad. And I'm like, that's me, because baby, when I'm mad, my head get to move, my hands get to boop, 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 or whatever. So Deontay said, that country come out her mama real quick, and he'll get cursed out, and will. And then the camera pins on her with her eyes, booked and staring at him. And Deontay say, I see you staring a hole in the back of my head. And she asks what the 3-way relationship would be like. And he said he would be with Nicole. And Nicole would be with Tia. And he would also be with Tia. Mama said, why would you subject yourself to something like that? He talking about he missed her. And she said she would probably knock him upside his head a couple of times if he goes back to Nicole. She said if it was real love, you wouldn't have to sacrifice this much. And he said he feels like he has to protect Nicole because Tia is doing something to her. And Deontay gonna get a rude awakening soon, I hope, because that was the end of Love Life After Lockup, whatever the name of this show is, because they keep switching. And that was my review, recap, or whatever. And like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.